and Ambush.
Hey there.
It is a good day.
It is a great day.
And it's not a Monday.
Yes, it's a Monday.
So we're Loving Tuesday right now. We're back with you, and we haven't seen you in a hot minute since we were at the National Restaurant Association show in Chicago. So we wanted to jump right back in the saddle and come to a new local favorite in Norfolk, Virginia, in the downtown sector.
I know, it's exciting.
We are at Hair of the Dog on Granby Street in downtown Norfolk, and we've got a great new chef, a really fun new local product, and of course we're going to have a killer dish.
Of course.
So why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hey, my name's Daniel St. John, and I'm the chef of Hair of the Dog on Granby Street.
Woohoo!
And I tell you, I've come here multiple times. I've had meetings here, told people, hey, they wanted to go to breakfast, they wanted to go to lunch somewhere, where to go. This is really becoming that spot.
It is.
Slowly but surely.
That's a good way to start it. And I mean, when you come around, you look inside and you sit down, it's got a great ambiance, the look is really good, and I love the old lit up signs.
Oh, it's great.
The Harry's Barbecue sign. And then, wasn't there a funny story about that sign?
Oh, well, one side was inside the other sign when it was still up in front of the building. So they pulled one down, and then we got a surprise second one.
So you got two signs for the price of one.
Yep.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So what kind of food do you guys really kind of focus on here?
Here, I would say it's definitely American regional and Southern comfort food.
Yeah, you can't go wrong, especially for breakfast. When you're looking for something good and you go Southern comfort food. I mean, anything from, grits to eggs, omelets, and you don't shy away from the meats either.
Not at all.
Ooh,
I mean, you go straight, you dive head first in.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, I figured you'd be in. So, now, what kind of brought you guys to say, okay, I think Granby Street's our next location?
Well, there's no other place down here that does a brunch all week through. So that's definitely something that doesn't exist around here. Mm-hmm. And we serve full menu all the way to 2 o'clock on the weekends.
Wow.
And brunch is that really kind of hot button. Everybody loves a good brunch. You see them post about it. You see them going to it. It seems like every other person's food pictures right now is what they ate for brunch.
Right.
And let's get real. Brunch is like a fancy way to say, I had great food while I was drinking mimosas and Bloody Marys and everything else. Everything's better with a little bit of a bubbly and bottled happiness.
There you are.
So you can't complain.
Hey, right. So it's a good day.
It is.
So we're going to get started. And I think what's going to be fun is we got a secret ingredient that we brought back with us from one of our trips with World Food Championships. And it's a group that puts a team together every year to compete in several categories.
A complete team. I mean, she takes the gamut of chefs with her.
And she had people in the final 10.
Nice.
So I had to go with something that is near and dear to me, which is a flavor profile that I really, really enjoy, especially for my rabid love of all things taco.
Of course.
So to remind everybody, it's one local secret ingredient, it's one local chef at a local restaurant to make one fantastic dish. And I gotta tell you, I'm really excited about this one. So you ready to see what your ingredient is?
Let's do it.
All right, pop the box. What we have, Saucy Mama Orange Habanero Wing Sauce.
Hey there.
I mean, it's literally, when I cooked, I loved mixing fruit and peppers together. So when I saw this bottle sitting there, I was like, I'm going to help myself to one of these because somebody's going to make a killer dish with it.
And that's going to be today.
And that's going to be you.
Perfect.
So remember, send in your comments, send in your questions. Vanessa's going to be monitoring everything. We want to hear from you because that's what keeps things interesting and usually gives us something to snicker and laugh at because somebody's going to poke fun at somebody.
So send all those comments in and we're going to let Chef know everything you've got to say. See you in a minute.
All right, so orange habanero wing sauce.
What it looks like.
That's what it looks like. And we were talking earlier, you were like, I'm hoping to get duck or something like that. And I'm like, I can't really make it that easy. I mean, duck is one of my favorite things. We've talked about this a great many times. So what are you thinking with an orange habanero wing sauce?
I like spicy things, but it shouldn't be too difficult.
Right.
I think I'm going to enhance it and make a sauce with it.
I like this. I like where that's going. Because you've got a little bit of heat and a little bit of sweet, and when people don't, people get scared of habaneros.
Right, and there's no need to be scared of them.
None.
No.
They're flavorful, they're bright, and when you add, acids and sugars from fruit, it really kind of helps balance out the capsaicin, which makes the pepper hot.
Correct.
So, go ahead and get started.
Word.
And we'll just keep running our mouth.
There we go.
Now, you talked about kind of enhancing it, and you're going to make a sauce. What is that sauce going to go on?
It's gonna go on a piece of fried chicken.
Okay. My morning starts off, well, I got orange habanero sauce and fried chicken. Vanessa's going to be really happy about that, by the way. That's perfect. So, what got you into cooking?
Well, when I was going through college for a completely different degree.
All right, that's how it usually goes.
I was cooking in an Italian restaurant where I got all my sauté skills.
Right.
So
and that's a good place to get sauté skills, is an Italian restaurant.
Exactly. We definitely learned to sauté there.
Now, what's in there besides chicken?
This is chicken that's marinated in buttermilk.
How about the only way to do fried chicken?
It's one of the ways.
Just let that sucker just soak in and get all the goodness out of that buttermilk. All right, so you're learning all your sauté skills in an Italian restaurant.
Yep.
Well, what kind of was the next step in that process?
Well, the degree I was going for, I realized I didn't want to be stuck behind a desk, and I've been cooking so long that I was getting good at it.
That was becoming your kind of comfort zone, your go-to.
Exactly. So then after that, I was like, you know what? I already have half of the requirements for a culinary degree.
Right.
So then I decided to take that part seriously and start culinary school.
And so what kind of transition was that? Because you go to traditional college, now what were you said you were going to do something that was going to keep you behind a desk.
Accounting, business, it was for a business major.
So basically you went about as polar opposite to go from sitting accounting on a desk to going to, I'm going to be a chef in a crazy kitchen and basically modern day a pirate.
I just can't sit down all day.
Right. Well, you're definitely not going to sit down all day inside a kitchen.
Exactly.
Now, as you were kind of making that transition, what was it like the first time you put on the chef coat and it was like, okay, you're the chef of the restaurant, not the line cook, not the saute, you're the chef?
You know, a little frightening because there's a bunch of hidden responsibilities that I wasn't used to yet. Right.
So what are some of those responsibilities you found that you had no idea was about to hit you?
Well, honestly, learning to be a babysitter.
Yes, that is the role of the chef.
And managing people.
It's head babysitter. I think you just start putting that on all chef coats now. Head babysitter, because that's basically what you're doing. Now, in your babysitting role in the kitchen, you know, all of us have funny stories, like just something ridiculous that goes on, because people that are inside kitchens have no idea the insanity that takes place. What's one of your funniest stories when you were first kind of jumping into that role as head babysitter?
Oh man, now you're gonna make me think.
I tried to do that, but only on occasion. Because we used to do this stuff like, you know, how you have the coffee machines, and we'd always have that server or that hostess that we'd ask to go, you know, drain the hot water.
True. Yep.
I mean,
I'll tell you what. I had someone emptying a fryer.
Okay. Oh God.
That was with hot grease.
Right. And
they decided to spray down the fryer with water.
Good
so that
plan.
water came rushing into the hot grease.
And you get the volcano effect. So like when you're in school and you were doing one of those volcano projects with the vinegar and the baking soda, that was this, but in a fryer with hot oil.
Exactly.
Yeah, you really can't even write a sitcom to go through the funny stuff that happens inside a kitchen.
All at the very beginning of service, too.
Of course it was. Yep. It's not going to be at the most convenient time. So where are we at now? So you've got chicken down. Is that in the fryer?
I got chicken down. I have a starch working. I got mashed potatoes working.
All right.
Use a little greenage here.
Now, another one that, you know, people don't get to see inside the kitchens. The other thing people like to know is, you know, they think chefs, they go home, we start instantly cooking. Like we're baking 12-course meals for every time we eat at home. That is so not the case.
Sometimes
it's there because we can't just help it. But what is your just late night, you're exhausted, you're hungry, what's your go-to?
Pizza.
I remember mac and cheese pizza, Cheetos, ramen.
I like Chicago style pizza, so if I'm really into it, I'll make the thick crust. You know, with the cheese on all your toppings on the bottom and sauce on top. I love knife and fork pizza.
Oz and I were in Chicago for the National Restaurant Association show, and all we heard about is we've got to try one of these Chicago deep dish pizzas. Man, they weren't kidding. That thing was like bordering 3 inches deep. and it was really good.
Absolutely legit.
I mean, that was just stupid good. We're both like, well, he wants one, I want one. We ended up with two, and we both ate about 2 pieces out of it, and literally couldn't go any further.
I'm sure you have to take something home, yeah?
Oh, yeah. We had to go back to the hotel, and I'm like, so you guys got a refrigerator somewhere? All right, so now you've got an orange out, so you're going to really kind of amp up that orange habanero.
Give it a little more flavor. Put some zest in there.
Now, I really like zest. Orange zest is one of my favorite things. Orange and lime zest.
Absolutely.
So now, fried chicken. Oh, what do you got, Vanessa?
So I got lots of people chiming in. I've got fellow chefs. I've got Edward Story giving the thumbs up. I've got Brian Wedgener going, hello, hey. I got Eric Patrick Miller saying, get it, Danny boy. And Brian's chiming back in going, yummy, yummy sauce. Sounds good.
Now, see, that's what we want to see. Keep talking, keep making comments. Hi, everybody. So, pizza's your go-to thing. You've had fun experiences in the kitchen. What's it like to sit down at getting ready to open a restaurant and say, what is my menu going to be?
Well, I had a little bit of help on this menu. I think the hardest part about the menu is your wording.
That makes sense.
So if you don't word things right, a lot of accidents happen.
Right. And now you've really got a lot more to consider than even you did 10 years ago when you're writing a menu. You've got food allergies, and you've got different types of diets, and you have all these things.
People with all these special restrictions.
Right. And so you're trying to make a menu that reaches as many as possible, but there are times where that becomes tough.
Yes, but at the same time, it's part of my job to be able to accommodate those people. And to know that another challenge is knowing all of your product, where stuff's been made, what's touched. So that's the other fun part of the job.
Yes, it is. Now, and we came in, and Vanessa and I were talking, and it's always nice to come in and see stations, completely set up. You have things where you want them. I remember times that, and I'm sure you've run into this same thing, and man, that fried chicken looks good.
Well, thank you.
Where you come into the kitchen and things aren't where they need to be.
Yes.
And it's usually, like you said, at the start of service is where you're going to find something out, that something's missed. And, all of a sudden now you've got a menu that you're missing items for. That is one of those things that's just so hard inside a kitchen. And if you're sitting out as a diner, you don't realize any of this. You just think, oh, my food's taking too long.
Right.
So there's a lot to working inside of a kitchen.
But see, I like to eat out too, and I understand that.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the lucky guests. They get it when that happens.
And that's me too. You sit there and just like, it's going to get there, it's coming. And honestly, if it takes a hot minute, it's probably going to be really good.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be done right.
As long as it's good, exactly.
As long as it's good. That's the key to everything. So what's on the menu, what's that dish that you're like, nope, this is the one that I really had a hand in. It's a really good vision of who I am.
I get to play with the Benedict flights.
I like that.
They change every 2 weeks. And it's everything it's not on, it's on the menu, but it's like they all change. They're all separate. So
now you said a Benedict flight.
Yes.
And we got the Flay. Everybody's favorite thing to see.
Yeah.
It's like full of sound and fury, but really doesn't signify a whole lot.
That's the other fun part of the job.
Right.
Playing with knives and fire.
Knives and fire are the best things in the world. So when you have a Benedict flight, kind of walk somebody through, like, what would that be if they came in and got a Benedict flight?
So right now our Benedict flight is, one of them's like a Florentine.
Okay, right.
Mushroom, spinach, and the other one's more of like a Mediterranean. It's got artichokes, roasted red peppers, and the third one is, well, both of those are on the top, and the third one is a apple bruschetta.
Now that sounds good. And what I like is it's completely kind of outside the box. Most people aren't going to think of an apple bruschetta going, working with and for a Benedict. Right. And it's great you said that, because Benedict is one of my favorite things to eat. I love a good poached egg. There's nothing better than a poached egg as far as I'm concerned.
Like fluffy clouds.
Yes, but full of just delicious goodness. So now what do you got going on with the sauce?
So the sauce, I'm going to make into a beurre blanc.
I like it. Now, what is the beurre blanc for everybody watching? Because they love those big terms.
Beurre blanc is a white wine cream butter sauce, or
all good things,
all together. So, and that's what we do around here. I have a lot of heavy fat, great tasting.
Well, that's Southern cooking.
Yep, and with a little classic technique.
Right. You know, and that's the thing. You know, a lot of people think they get afraid of, well, I can't eat too much Southern food because it's, you know, it's heavy and it's fatty and things like that. But the one thing about Southern food is typically it's made with real ingredients. So you're not getting a lot of chemicals and overly processed things. It's usually just the food. And honestly, if I'm going to eat a fat or I'm going to eat some kind of a sugar or something, I'd rather it be from actual butter.
Right.
You know, from a good source.
Not that I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah. Not that thing, what is it they always test? They used to take the pat and put it on the top of your hand, it would never melt.
Yeah, exactly.
That to me is a problem.
Anything that's one element away from being a plastic.
Right. That's not what you want to do.
No, sir.
And so now you're folding in a little butter, making it even richer, and that's what you added the whipping cream and the orange habanero sauce to.
Exactly, with the zest.
And with the zest, which really is going to kind of bring that all together and lift it. Which, you know, on a piece of fried chicken and a orange habanero beurre blanc butter sauce with wine, I mean, you just put everything in a category that people love. And that's the great thing about really liking what you do and enjoying what you do. And you've said that with your transition from I'm going to be an accountant to I'm going to be a chef, is you find that thing, you get up every day and you're happy about doing it.
Yes, exactly. You know, it started, I wanted to be an art teacher, and then like I was taking a lot of art classes.
Right.
And, you know, just being able to paint and draw my entire life. And I realized it's hard to be it's easy to be a starving artist. It's not. It's hard to be a successful one.
But see, that's the great thing. You went from starving artist to full chef.
To non-starving artist.
Yeah, to non-starving artist.
And I still get to be creative. I still get. I mean, it's art.
Well, you're playing with the same thing an artist does. You're playing with palette, colors, textures, the way the contrasts work, everything. So really, the chefs, especially now, more and more, are a lot of your modern day artists. You're loving this, aren't you?
That's delicious.
I know you wanted duck breast, but I think you're doing pretty damn good with orange habanero sauce.
Butter gave it a little bit more of a kick.
What is one of your favorite things when you're not at the restaurant and you're going out to eat somewhere that you like to order that's kind of that, all right, if I order this and it's good, I know this is a great restaurant?
Well, I like to be a little difficult sometimes.
Well, why not?
So, for instance, every time I visit Beer Garden,
yep,
I get the schnitzel Reuben,
right?
But I add corned beef, and I put it on 2 pretzels. Well, and they do it for me every time.
Well, number one, anytime you incorporate pretzel into anything, when they started making pretzel buns, I was probably about as happy as you could get.
Yeah.
I love a pretzel bun on anything. I don't care what kind of sandwich. Like, it's better with a pretzel bun.
All right.
So yeah, it's, you know, when you go to those places and you're like, well, I like this and this and this, and you know what flavor profiles you like. So when they put it together and that's good, yeah, you know you've got a pretty good place. My thing, as everybody knows, is I'm a taco fanatic. And so I can always tell you if there's going to be good tacos by that pico they put out on the table first with the chips. That salsa or pico, if that's fresh made and that's good, pretty good chance the tacos are going to be killer.
Absolutely.
All right, so where are you at now in the process?
I'm ready to plate.
Vanessa's favorite words ever. I'm ready to plate. I'm going to get her like, well, you know, you've seen the chefs that carry the holster for their knives and everything. I'm going to get a holster for Vanessa that's like a fork, knife, and spoon. So she's just ready to go at all times.
Pocket protector. That would be perfect.
Pocket protector. That's even
keep
better.
Keep right there.
Yeah, close to the heart. All right, so now you've got a good selection of plates.
I do.
So that everything kind of, it's not just, you know, you remember the old diners where it was like that porcelain oval plate for everything. Well, now you've got so many different types and different kinds. What goes into your thought process when you're picking one?
Definitely a lot of contrasting colors.
Right.
So it pops when you put it on the plate.
I like that.
That may look good too.
I got the mashed potatoes and red skin with the skin on, which to me is the only way to do it.
Garlic mash.
I love the skin on, especially with the reds. That looks delicious. So we're going to have the garlic mash, and now you've got...
I've got some sauteed broccolini.
Which, man, that color got bright. Which means you didn't take it too far. Like you'll see a lot of times that broccolini will come out and it's completely limp. It just looks awful.
Still has a little crunch to it.
This is what that should look like.
And then...
And here comes the piece everybody's waiting for.
Exactly.
The chicken. Perfectly fried. Great color on the outside. How long do you usually soak it in that buttermilk?
It marinates over a period of a couple days.
Nice. Now that sauce has a sheen to it that is just beautiful.
And that's caused by the butter.
The butter.
The butter brings that sheen out.
And there's your canvas, and that's the little spoon is your paintbrush. I see Vanessa coming. She's creeping closer.
I'm creeping in because I see that it's almost time to eat.
It is.
That's my favorite time.
Her call to action.
That call to action. But Kristen Jean did say that sauce is right up his alley. Feeding needy coworkers is his most favorite thing.
You gotta see it. Yeah,
yes, it is.
The look was fantastic just from that statement. Feeding hungry coworkers.
I'm going to finish with these beautiful microgreens that we get from John Everling.
I like that. I've seen those put out on a couple of tables before.
He does a really good job, and he donated these for us today, and
nice.
I am happy to always use them.
I feel like Ralph just has those like with him on his person at all times.
It's always in his pocket.
Man,
always
this is good looking.
And I think we've seen him use it several times before.
I think so too. I'm just waiting for it to show up as like a chain around the neck. It'd just be a hanging mic.
Oh, we can make that happen.
That looks fantastic.
That's what I got.
And it's a Tuesday morning. Mondays are a long day. Starting right off with buttermilk fried chicken and an orange habanero beurre blanc. Man, that's killer.
Yeah.
We need to eat.
I think so. I think we need one. I'm not sure we need forks at this point.
Vanessa's ready to dive in.
I'll just grab
You're just going to grab the half of chicken?
Let me.
See, this is what I deal with, everyone. It's at some point,
We'll grab us some silverware.
total caveman status started, and she's just ready to attack a plate.
Well, I'm hungry too.
How do you not when you're looking at that? It's like I'm ready to just bottle up the rest of that beurre blanc sauce and just spoon that all day.
Well, I'll write a recipe down for you.
I like it. Recipe beurre blanc sauce.
Look at this.
And here comes Ralph with silverware. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you. All right, let's.
Rescue Ralph. All right, Vanessa.
All right, we all got to dig in, Chef. Then.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Yeah, we're all diving head first into this one.
All right. Well, my guest first, please.
Okay. Chicken.
Oh man, that is tender. All right, dive in. Get at it. Ugh. I'm like, at what point can I get enough sauce?
The sauce smells. Oh, amazing.
Got a little bit of everything in this bite.
All right.
All right, here we go, guys. Cheers.
You got a little kick to it.
But just enough. You get that warmness in the back of your throat. But man, that chicken is so good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of fried chicken, you want just the right amount of crispness.
Right.
Like you'll have a lot of them where it's like almost a shield. You can't even get to the chicken. It's so hard.
Oh, so good.
Or it starts flaking off.
Yeah.
Cut into it.
This is tender. It stays with it. It's completely covered. The garlic mash is so creamy.
Yum.
But man, that sauce. Is, I think Saucy Mama would be very proud of what you did with that sauce today.
It's really good.
So I'm gonna just muscle in right here because I'm gonna protect her from eating too much fried chicken. But I've got to tell you,
Get back in there.
I'm
clean and simple.
gonna grab another bite.
Absolutely successful ambush.
Fabulous.
I mean, fantastic. Where can they find out more about Hair, the Dog, and You?
Just come see me.
And that's the best answer ever.
Yeah.
Come down to Norfolk, downtown on Granby Street, and you'll find this guy making food like this. Look for the Bulldog.
Yeah. And
look
ask for Chef Daniel.
And ask for Chef Daniel. But look for the two signs that came in as one, because those things are awesome.
They are. It's really good.
And I got to tell you, you know where to find us? We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Smoke signals, always my favorite. YouTube.com/ I'm just thinking about chicken, man. YouTube.com/kitchen ambush. Oh, I will. And look for us. We've got some fun stuff coming up this summer. We're going to be here, there, and a little bit of everywhere. But keep sending in those questions. Caring is sharing, and it's better when it's unexpected.
See you later.
Just like orange habanero sauce. Bye.